Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Jason Cappuccino of Sashes and Scripts, and in this episode, pag-uusapan natin kung sino ba talaga yung napupusuan natin for the Miss Universe Philippines title. So, let's get right to the point. I think if it is going to be a battle for the title, there is only two names that I feel that is going to be the names that are pertinent to this conversation. Since the beginning, we've started the entire Miss Universe Philippines journey with two names as our Miss Universe Philippines in paper and Miss Universe Philippines in principle. And during that time, during the entirety of the competition, hindi nag-waver yung mga pangalan na yon when it comes to performance, when it comes to delivering, when it counts. So, hindi naman maikakaila that Bella Ismael and Bea Windorski are the two names that are the heaviest, most discussed names when it comes to the title. And hindi natin pwedeng i-dismiss the fact that they have dominated the conversation since the beginning of the year. And I think that's the reality that we have to face right now is sino sa kanilang dalawa ang mag-uuwi ng corona. Now, I know that there are a lot of, fandoms that would argue, we need a newbie, we need someone who is fresh, or fandoms that would say, there are more better established na mga names for the title. But I don't see it playing out that way. And it's not because they're not worthy of the title, but because of various factors like the voting, like the preference of the sponsors and the preference of the organization that models the possibilities on who gets to win the title. I feel that this time around, they're gonna be crowning the one who is the safest bets for the title. Now, why do we say that they are the safest bets? Because both ladies, both Bea and Bella, deliver in terms of performance. Albeit, when it comes to stage performance, I think may konting advantage doon si Bella Ismael. But when it comes naman to height, overall marketability, doon naman mas may advantage si Bea. So, it's going to be a down to the line na fight for the title between these two girls. Now, how do I say that they are the only two that needs to be looked at when there are other potential girls in the competition? Now, nabanggit na rin natin yung voting factor. Kapag ang mga candidates naglapag ng pera for the voting just to make it into the top 7, that top 7, essentially, 6 na lang ang mag-compete for the spots that is available. And if one candidate who, let's say, is equally beautiful facially, maganda ang proportions ng katawan, maganda ang stage presence, pwede niyang madiskaril yung diskarte ng mga nag-perform throughout the entire competition. And I think we have to be realistic that in this set of contest, in this competition this year, the voting really plays a huge factor in the selection of the winner. And sometimes, even other content creators nagjo-joke na bakit hindi lang natin idaan sa online voting yung mga mananalo when we've done that so far from the top 50, top 30, and why not down to the line until the winner? That's actually a valid na question because I think there is may kapaguran na tayo when it comes to ano ba talaga yung gusto ng org na to, kumita o maghanap ng magandang representative maghanap ng representative that is the strongest among the batch. I think that there is a need for us to reconcile with that fact that this is not going to be a easy na conversation, or it's not going to be an easy win for other girls because the two most prepared and probably well connected and well established names in the competition are the two girls that has dominated talaga yung conversation on the possibility as the eventual winners. So, saan na pupunta ngayon yung ibang mga girls? Fortunately, there are several other titles na pwede pang pag-awayan. Now, in terms of the supranational title, I think that there is a good chance that mag-fit sa prototype doon ang physical na appearances ni na Alison Hetland and of course April Smith. Because if you're going to look at the strongest girls when it comes to the pasarela, when it comes to stage presence, I think the two girls would fit the mold of the pageant. Now, April Smith, wala ka nang kinakailangan galawin kay April. She's ready. However, if you would gamble on Alison Hetland, that is a safe bet as well because there is a full year for her to prepare. Whether may kahinaan siya sa transition ng mga posings niya, may kahinaan sa stage presence, or whatever area that that needs to be improved and polished further, she has time. So I think in terms of those titles, those two girls would really fit the mold. Now, when it comes to the Miss Cosmo title, there are also two girls that I am looking at in terms of possible winners. And they are, of course, Roxy Bay, or Roxy Bayans of Baguio, and Cebu Province's, Nicole Borromeo. I know it's going to be a very controversial take. Bakit ganoon na lang kababa yung ibibigay ko na title kay Roxy and kay Nicole. It's not because of the ranking of the titles, but it's more of I've selected those two because I feel are the girls who best fit what the pageant might be looking for. As you've seen naman, mga mestiza, yung mga pinapadala natin sa Miss Cosmo, and we've done well so far. I mean, a top 8 is not, it's not that bad for our first foray, and then followed by Chelsea Fernandez, who became the first runner-up. And if you look at yung career trajectory ni Chelsea at Miss Cosmo, she's been very present in a lot of the activities of the winner, as well as the activities of the pageant organization itself. So there is good, there's something good that's happening kung mapadala ka sa Miss Cosmo. And I feel also that this title, in the next 5-10 years, if maganda yung pamamalakad, ituloy-tuloy ng organization yung good quality na production, it will elevate itself in the next 5-10 years. Who knows, it might even become one of the most important na mga international competitions later on. Now, when it comes naman to the Miss Charm International na title, there is a couple of girls that I also am eyeing for. Now, might be controversial for you, but I am looking at Justine Felizarta as well as Roxy Bay. Again, Roxy Bayans again for the title because these girls are really very charming. Now, the two have very different approach to how to channel their inner charisma. Roxy feels, very easy, accessible, very relatable. Samantalang si Justin has that very queenly aura with her. Something that is very, well composed but warm, but seductive and magnetic at the same time. So there are two levels of magnetism. One is very friendly, the other very enigmatic, but they work well. And I think those two girls, kaya nilang mag-deliver when it comes to the Q&A, kaya nilang mag-deliver when it comes to the pasarela na rounds, and overall they are even when it comes to skill set. Kumbaga, hindi nakukulangan sa ganda, hindi nakukulangan sa pasarela, hindi nakukulangan sa stage presence, but very well even lahat ng mga skill set na kinakailangan nilang i-deliver in a pageant. Now, for the Miss Eco International na title, I know that there's a lot of conversation na ibigay na lang natin kay Roxy. Because Roxy has been one of the girls that has been a very apt because yung pinanggalingan niyang pageant aligned with Miss Eco International. I'm not agreeing in the sense that there are better pageant that I think mas babagay kay Roxy. And the title that I feel, the ladies that I feel would be great at Miss Eco International are actually Tacloban's Jacqueline Gulrajani. And to some extent, I also feel that pwede nating isalpak dito si Justine Felizarta. Now, hear me out. Bakit parang left field nang galing mga names na to. If you look at yung ganda in terms of communication, in terms of pasarela, these ladies are very well matched. And then if you look at the ability to speak, which I feel needs to be stressed more, especially that this is an cause or environment based na pageant, or yung kanilang causes is pro-earth. You need someone who can convince people, who can talk to people, who can advocate through great communication skills for the pageant. And if you haven't noticed that the ladies that we've sent at Miss Echo, they are ladies that are very articulate, very well poised, at hindi na nakukulangan ng articulation at saka poise yung dalawang yon. Both Justine and Jackie have loads of that in terms of yung the way that they carry themselves. So maybe pwedeng isugal natin yung something that is different, something more flavorful when it comes to the Miss Echo International, because in the past several years, the ladies that have really done well for us in the Miss Echo International na title have always been ladies na iba-iba yung packaging, iba-iba yung physical definition of beauty. When it comes to the Miss Echo International na the title, I feel that we have a wide berth in terms of what the org is looking for, because there is no one physical mold of what they're looking for. I think a Filipina who is leaning towards the mestiza, the morena, or the darker skin na mga Filipinas have equal chances to do well internationally. So I think that would be the scenario for me when it comes to to the titles. Now, if you noticed, I haven't mentioned a lot of the newbies in the possible list for the titles. The reason for that is because I feel that some of the newbies, hindi na kailangan pang pahinugin. We still need to polish them up, provide for them better or longer exposure, so that the confidence is built, because there's still a need for most of the newbies to improve their communication skills, improve yung mga transitions nila when it comes to the stage, have more fluid na facial expressions and transitions between those facial expressions on stage, have that kind of finesse when it comes to presentation. Dahil the mere fact that when you are attuned kung nasaan yung camera na nagre-record, ano na yun automatic kung saan ka titingin, saan ka magbablocking, saan ka magpo-posing, that gives you an extra advantage. Kasi when judges who look at the monitor rather than look at the stage, nakatutok sila sa monitor, mas nagkakaroon ng personal connection yung mga judges with the girls. So it's important that you have that it's not a required skill set, but it is one of those skill sets na would help you win. So I think there really is a need for a lot of the girls, the younger girls, to finesse that, to polish that. Hindi siya kaya ng ng ilang training lang. It comes with age, it comes with exposure, it comes with a whole lot of a whole lot of experience, and hindi siya kayang ituro ng paspasan o madalian. Now, who do I think would be great as possible runners-up? First on the list, I feel nandiyan yung si Sultan Kudarat, si Jen Rose Javier, and Michelle Burchell. I think those two girls would be really be great as ladies in waiting, because I hope that when and if they come back, kukurona na sila. It's not because they are newbies or they're veterans na nilagay ko sila doon sa stage na yon, sa ranking na yon. But it's because I feel that they still need to be able to gather more supporters, and capitalize that into their next foray into the Miss Universe Philippines na competition. Kasi importante that when you are competing internationally or at NUPH, kahit sa NUPH level pa lang, meron ka ng set of followers that ipagtatanggol ka, ipaglalaban ka, that will be very much involved in the voting process, in the promotions, in the marketing of your materials. Because without that kind of support, hindi ka magkakaroon ng hindi ka magkakaroon ng matunog na campaign. I feel that these two ladies hilaw pa on that end, and I feel that given the circumstances, the other ladies have that in spades. And hindi dahil nagkulang sila sa ganda. Let's just be honest with that, okay? At this stage, if you make it into the top 7, lahat kayo magaganda, lahat kayo nag-perform on stage. But what makes it different is the way now that your life experience will carry you through the thickness and the toughness of the competition. Okay? So, let's go back to the question. Who I think will be the next Miss Universe Philippines? At this point in time, hindi ko kayang sagutin yan because the competition will be down the line until the finals. Magpapatayan sila for the titles. I am not saying that si Bella at si Bea lang ang pagtuunan natin ng pansin, but what I am saying is that with all the things that we know about the international org, the local org, the voting process, the judging procedure and all, I think that the best bet would be those two ladies. If in case that Bella does not win Miss Universe Philippines, I would put her at Miss Cosmo International. If in case though that Bea does not win Miss Universe Philippines, I would put her at Miss Supernational. Now, between the two, kanino ba ang mas matimbang? In my head, I know that Bea Windorsky is my Miss Universe in principle because she picks everything. Ganda, she's one of the more cosmopolitan na mga faces and international na faces in the competition. Pangalawa, she ticks the box on the physicality. She is very tall, the proportions are really great. May konting kinakailangan ng ayusin when it comes to her pasarela. Medyo again, there still needs to finesse that in terms of the poses, in terms of the facial transitions, to soften yung kanyang facial transitions kasi medyo matigas pa. Pati yung pasarela niya is matigas pa eh. But in terms of stage presence, she definitely has that in spades. Now, in terms of the Q&A, of course, she can deliver. She's not Miss Earth Water for no reason kung hindi siya magaling magsalita. Now, in terms naman of for our Miss Universe in principle, which is Bella Ismael, yes, I agree that a lot of fans are very much saying that hindi kasi siya matangkad, but you have to remember Arboni is 5'7". Even Nicole Borromeo is 5'7.5". And hindi na nalalayo yung height na yon when it comes to winnability. So 5'7" is not short as you would think of because there are a lot of Miss Universe winners who are 5'7". Demile Nell Peters is they say it's only 5'5" or 5'6.5". Again, height should not be a hindrance to winning. So in terms kasi of marketability, in terms of commercial beauty, in terms of connections when it comes to business, when it comes to alta sociedad, Bella has that in spades. And even if you don't factor that in, she is the most well-rounded when it comes to performance in terms of her pasarela, in terms of her facial transitions, in terms of her styling, in terms of the way that she communicates. She is the most well-polished among the girls. So, what does this mean? It means that in my heart, I feel that Bella Ismael should win, but in my head, I am thinking that Bea is going to win. So, take whatever you can take from that situation, from that statement. But I do hope that eventually, when it comes to be selecting the winner down the line, it's going to be the two of those ladies, those two ladies, holding hand in hand as the last two standing. Okay? So that's it for this episode, and I hope na lahat tayo masatisfy when it comes to the results on May 2nd. Okay? Thank you very much. And before we leave, before we end this episode, please comment your thoughts about the topic, kung sino ba yung napupusuan yung Miss Universe Philippines na candidate, and share this to your friends or leave a thumbs up doon sa episode natin ngayon so that more people will be able to join the discussion and join the discourse. That's it, everyone, and see you again soon. Bye everyone!